Happening now, our special report continues with a look at how migrant children in Jamestown are adapting to schooling in America. And we're breaking down what's next after a new Chautauqua Lake District fails to come to fruition. Plus, what fans have to say as the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl hopes come to an end following Sunday's loss in Orchard Park.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first. While the adults of newly migrated Colombian families in Jamestown search for housing and wait for their court date to obtain legal documents, children of these families, they're already integrating into our public school system. As Julia Gress reports, educators at Jamestown Public Schools tell us that families have settled in the same area of town, allowing their children to attend the same schools depending on their age.
With regard to schooling, we've done immigrant students many times. We have an English as a new language program. So getting them in school was really quite seamless and painless. We have enough ENL teachers to deliver the instruction to the students.
Despite having different variances in Spanish, a number of the ENL, English as a new language teachers, are helping the transition.
I do know that this year they'll be exempt from the ELA and math tests. The ELA. They're exempt from the ELA, not the math, because they can get the math in Spanish. And so they're exempt from that for this year while they're working on improving their language. And then next year they'll take the ELA exam.
The new students attend the same classes as their peers, with an ENL expert co-teaching, and also receive small group instruction for the school. The goal is to have students be proficient in both languages, which awards them a special seal on their diploma. The school eyes an adult education program for migrants to learn English as well.
One of the things I would like to see is, even if we're offering English classes, as they start, when their numbers come in, as they start to work, it would be nice to see, like, if Bush Industries needed 15 people or 10 people, can you guys just invest in enough English for them to know, practicing for them to know if they're working on the assembly line, if they're working on packing or what have you, so just learn that enough English for that setting while they're continuing to learn the English of the mainstream.
Since the families did not come through a resettlement agency like Journey's End, they have been on their own to find housing and other necessities. While the school has made connections with community resources for these families, some of these services cannot help unless the individual in need has a social security number.
I just don't understand why. Temporary number. It's my understanding they have to check in every day with immigration. That's why they got the phones. And so they're doing that, and they don't want to work under the table. They absolutely don't want to, because the deportation officer actually mentioned to them, if you start working under the table, you get caught, you're going back.
Many community members, however, are volunteering their time to give rides to those who need them, as well as seats at their own dinner tables. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Now, the two previous parts of our special report feature what's attracted these migrants to Jamestown and how the city is responding. You can view them in their entirety at WNYNewsNow.com and in our free mobile app. A 23-year-old Frewsburg man faces charges in connection with two road rage incidents in the town of Carroll last month. Michael Olstrom faces a slew of charges from town of Carroll police after he was accused in the two separate road rage incidents, which happened on Christmas Eve and the following Tuesday, December 27th. In both of these incidences, it's accused that he stopped the victim, almost causing a crash. And then he got out of his vehicle, started to yell obscenities at them, and threaten their life. Officers and children were in the back seat of the vehicles during the time of the road rage incident. In total, the suspect here faces nearly a dozen different charges and was released with an appearance ticket. A 52-year-old Cattaraugus County man is accused of animal cruelty after dead cows were discovered on his property last week. Deputies with the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office responded to 7135 Cadets Road in the town of Franklinville last Thursday to investigate a dead cow complaint from the last month. Now, following an investigation, Russell Umner was charged with 38 counts of failure to provide proper sustenance to an animal and 2 counts of disposal of dead animals. Just hours after issuing Umner an appearance ticket, he was also accused of entering a neighbor's cow barn and fenced-in cow pasture without permission. Umner was subsequently charged with criminal trespass as well. Well, after 5 years of formal discussions, leaders here in Chautauqua County, they're back to the drawing board after failing to secure a reliable funding source to help manage Chautauqua Lake's health. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom with more on what lawmakers are saying about the watershed. Bronson?
Justin, last week the Chautauqua Lake Protection Rehabilitation Agency shot down a proposal that would have recommended the creation of a new lake district, which could have created a tax to help secure funding for management efforts, like cutting lake weeds and combating harmful algae blooms. Chautauqua Town Supervisor Don Emhart proposed the motion to scrap the recommendation, believing it would not pass a formal vote within Chautauqua County's legislature. This presents a new problem, however, where funding for lake stabilization would come from.
Being on the Lake Alliance also, I realize we need about $3.5 million a year. Maybe somebody else can come up with a better idea on where this $3.5 million is going to come from. This wasn't going to pass, so it's a good time to say enough's enough.
While the advisory committee has been dissolved, ideas remain.
A fee for boat uses. People that are going to put their boats in the waters that we're working to protect and to keep nice, they're going to pay a fee to register their boat, just like my husband does when he goes up north with his snowmobile.
One thing is apparent: something must be done.
Since I became a legislator, I became much more concerned about what was going on and not going on in the lake, because two of my two towns border the lake, and the continual frustration from people not being able to do as much as they needed to do. The Chautauqua Lake Association is a perfect example of that. And the frustration of the property owners about the condition of the lake. They wanted more done.
As for what comes next for lake protection, that is uncertain.
I will report to the legislature that the Lake Protection and Rehabilitation Agency's recommendation is not to create a district.
Okay, and then what's next for lake protection?
I don't know.
While there was no countywide district formed to raise funding, municipalities around the lakefront do have the authority to create their own individual lake protection rehabilitation districts. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you. Well, the return of snow was good news for children treated at Shriners Hospital of Erie, as they got the chance to enjoy snow tubing at Peak & Peak Resort over the weekend. Kids, some of who have had a pretty challenging time with their health, had the chance to bundle up and enjoy snow and tubing at Peak & Peak Saturday. The goal of the event is to teach children different life skills and promote independence. It allows parents to spend time with other kids who have similar challenges and are making big strides to face them.
It's just super fun to be out here with everyone. I love attending events like this, seeing everyone, all their parents, all the other kids, all the people that work at the hospital. It's amazing. It's a ton of fun out here.
Now, after snow tubing, the children enjoyed some lunch and presentations about nutrition and community. Look at that group. They all look super, super happy there to enjoy the snow, which comes as good news to them, but maybe not to everybody. I don't know, Andrew. It's a double-edged sword. I guess it depends. If I got to clean off too much from my car, I get a little grumpy, but honestly, today wasn't that bad. It's kind of pretty out there if you look at it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of winter lovers out there that haven't gotten to enjoy the snow this year because we haven't had much. But here's some of that freshly fallen snow that happened over Mayville and across the region last night. A scene that we haven't seen much of lately. And look at those snowfall totals from the past 24 hours. Cattaraugus saw 4 inches of snow. Mayville at 3.5 inches. Gary at 3.2 inches. Erie just saw just under 3 inches of snow. And here at Jamestown at the airport, 1.3 inches. The high yesterday was 31 degrees. The low was 26. 57. The record high for today is 66, set back in 1906, and a record low of -25, set back in 1984. So for the rest of the afternoon out there, cloudy skies with a few scattered snow showers out there, maybe an inch or two possible across the Chautauqua Ridge, with a northwest wind of 10 to 13 miles per hour, and high temperatures today will range from the upper 20s to the lower 30s. Now we have another storm system on the way for Wednesday that could bring in a mix of precipitation, including snow, rain, sleet, and freezing rain, and I'll have those details coming up in the full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. As we continue, almost a month after a deadly Christmas blizzard, heroes from across our region now being honored for their life-saving efforts. And later, a new push to bring back New York's gas tax holiday is underway. We have the latest on that and so much more when WNY News Now returns.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
An inconsistent Buffalo Bills bowed out on Sunday, falling to the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL divisional round. Erie News Now's John Leidick recaps the game and hears from players about the 27-10 loss.
Once again, the Buffalo Bills' dreams of a Super Bowl run coming to a close in the divisional round after a 27-10 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday.
We had our opportunity to make it a one-score game before half and didn't take advantage of that. Didn't score a touchdown on that first drive in the second half. We only got 3. And against teams like this, with a quarterback like that, you're going to have to score 6 and 7. So we didn't do a good enough job of that tonight.
A 14-0 deficit just 12 minutes into the game set the scene for a frustrating afternoon for the Bills, who failed to control either line of scrimmage.
Kind of dipped our toe in the water and they jumped in the pool. So when you give a team like that was it 14-0 lead or whatever it was, that's an uphill battle from the jump.
The challenge with that offense is you commit to stopping the run, and then they've got 3 really good receivers that one-on-one are tough matchups for you. So. I thought we came in with a good game plan and we adjusted through it, and at the end of the day it wasn't enough.
The hard reality setting in after the game as the team, with a number of key players set to hit free agency, realizing this group will never play together again.
We all know that no team will be the same, and I'm pretty sure that our management will try their best to keep it the same. I'm a Tremaine Edmonds fan, a Motor fan, and a Poyer fan. So I'm pulling for them. Whatever is meant to come, and it'll come with all of its flowers, because those guys left it all on the field.
And with the loss Sunday, the Buffalo Bills finish the year at 13-4 and shift their focus to an offseason that will once again be centered around trying to find the solutions to advance the Buffalo Bills past the divisional round next season. Reporting from Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, John Leidick, Erie Sports Now.
John, thank you. Almost a month after a deadly Christmas blizzard ravaged parts of western New York, officials are taking a moment to say thank you to everyday heroes lending a hand. Over the weekend, New York Governor Kathy Hochul joined other government leaders at Buff State, hosting a special ceremony commemorating the heroism of many, from first responders to everyday residents simply lending a hand during the 2022 Christmas holiday snowstorm. Each was honored with the Good Neighbor Honorary Medal.
We have been through so much together as a community, and yet there is no community or people stronger than right here in Buffalo, because we have been tested. We've been tested by fire. We've been tested by snow. We've been tested by blizzards and winds that were just unbelievable, record-setting in every measure.
New York State workers who came in to help during western New York's blizzard saved around 650 people. It's also estimated that thousands more were helped due to the kindness of Samaritans. Sadly, though, 50 people were nearly killed in the storm. The governor went on to say that the state is now working on an after-action report and breaking down what happened during this blizzard, bringing in outside contractors to help local leaders figure out what worked and, well, what didn't work. A New York State lawmaker calling on Governor Hochul today and his colleagues in the legislature to continue the gas tax suspension. At the end of last year's session in June, the legislature implemented a suspension of the state's sales tax charged per gallon of gas and diesel. The reduction reached about 16 cents per gallon statewide. The suspension ended, however, on December 31st of 2022. Republican Senator Tom O'Mara says the legislature should re-implement a gas tax suspension, as many New Yorkers are still hurting from inflation. Specifically, he explains that gas prices, they're way too high for everyday New Yorkers. Simply commuting back and forth to work and relief at the pump, he says, is deserved. O'Mara adds that he hopes that Governor Kathy Hochul puts the gas tax suspension in her State of the State executive budget, which is due in just a few weeks. Well, last week, New York lawmakers tried to lock down priorities of the Climate Action Council scoping plan ahead of Governor Kathy Hochul's executive budget. Today, our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein speaks to lawmakers and advocates about these priorities.
In the shadow of a giant inflatable pig, environmental advocates rally for legislation that would require oil companies to pay for climate damages. Advocates rally ahead of a Senate Finance Committee hearing where lawmakers narrowed down the priorities for the Climate Action Council scoping plan that was advanced this previous December. Some advocates say New York State will soon face financial hurdles to deal with climate change, and the burden should not fall on New Yorkers' shoulders.
Right now, the cost will be there. The people that are going to pay for it right now are average New Yorkers. The oil companies are responsible for this problem. They have the money. They should be the ones who pay for it.
Horner and some other advocates are pushing for the Climate Change Superfund Act that would require fossil fuel companies most responsible for climate change to pay into a $30 million superfund. Local lawmaker Senator Tom O'Mara says while accountability for those putting pollutants into the environment is important, this could drive some businesses out of New York State. He also says the Climate Action Council scoping plan will be financially challenging for the state and could further strain the issue of affordability.
The costs of this thing are going to spread across the board of all goods and services, from groceries to gasoline to car prices to home prices.
O'Mara added he also questions the reliability of the grid to handle moving towards zero emissions and away from gas-powered utilities. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. Next, we return with a full look at our weather forecast and what's on tap for later in this week, as a severe winter storm could snarl some driving plans.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
All new episodes of Lead and Lures drops this Friday on Roku TV, channel 716. Watch as the Primitive Patriot Outdoors crew travels to Colorado in search for big bull elk. Josh gets all tangled up with one sneaky bull. Dave Allen also gets on his 5x5 bull, and cameraman Ethan also capitalizes with a mule deer. Check that out Friday, January 20th on Roku TV, channel 716. Primitive Patriot Outdoors.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we're under cloudy skies. 27 degrees is the current temperature with a north wind of 12 miles per hour, and that's making it feel like 16 degrees out there. Here's what's happening across the northeast right now. That low pressure system that was responsible for the snow we saw last night is currently moving out into the Atlantic Ocean with just a few snow showers remaining across the region. The next big weather maker we're talking about is this next storm system will begin to impact the region by Wednesday. A low pressure system will move up across the Ohio Valley on Wednesday, and depending on the exact track of that system, we could see a little bit of everything on Wednesday. Everything from snow, the rain, the sleet, the freezing rain, and accumulation snow is also possible, with winter weather advisories likely as we head into Wednesday, but we'll keep you updated over the next few days. For the next 48 hours, however, future scan shows cloudy skies with a few scattered snow flurries through the rest of the afternoon today and into the night. A weak cold front will cross region tonight. That's going to bring another round of light snow showers early tomorrow morning. Before the rest of tomorrow will be mainly cloudy with again just a few snow flurries, and then that storm system will begin to move into the region by early Wednesday morning with some rain and some snow showers possible. Now the next 7 days brought to you by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. At least through the middle of the week, temperatures will be in the lower to mid 30s, and then we see that snow, sleet, and freezing rain possible on Wednesday, and then lake effect snow will set up Thursday and Friday. Also turns cooler with temperatures in the upper 20s, and another chance for some snow heading into the weekend. So it looks like we are into a winter weather pattern for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, we knew it wouldn't stay away for too long, Andrew. Thank you. Well, here's some headlines from around the nation. And President Joe Biden has issued a presidential moratorium that allows access to medical abortion, saying in a statement it'll continue to fight to protect a woman's right to choose. Vice President Kamala Harris made the announcement at an abortion rights rally in Florida Sunday. She also called on Congress to pass federal protections on the matter, but not everyone agrees with that. Former coach and NFL player Tony Dungy was among those who took part in the 50th annual March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. Friday. Abortion is currently legal in about 24 states and banned or severely restricted in 13 others. According to the Guttmacher Institute of Reproductive Rights, the remaining states are either in limbo or with legal restrictions under 20 weeks of pregnancy. Well, a gunman who authorities say killed 10 people and sent 10 others to the hospital in California took his own life after an hours-long standoff with police Sunday. Authorities were able to track the man after spotting a van matching the description of one leaving the scene of a second foiled attack. Now, authorities are left searching for a motive. Mike Valario has the latest.
Feel safe. You are no longer in danger because this shooter is gone.
Sheriff deputies say the suspected gunman who opened fire on a dance studio in Monterey Park, California Saturday night is dead.
He is a 72-year-old male Asian. I can confirm that there are no outstanding suspects.
The sheriff says the suspect shot himself in his van during a standoff hours after he allegedly killed 10 people and wounded 10 others in Southern California. Investigators are still searching for the motive behind the deadly attack, devastating the majority Asian American community on the eve of its Lunar New Year celebration.
We're looking at all criminal history, mental health history, and seeing if there's any gaps that were there that we may have missed.
3 people who knew him told CNN he used to be a regular at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio and even met his ex-wife there. Shortly after the attack in Monterey Park, authorities say the same suspect went to a second studio in nearby Alhambra, but people there were able to disarm him before he fled. And while authorities continue their investigation, the tight-knit community is left to grapple with the senseless violence.
It's normally very family oriented, but we're shocked to hear that it's happened here, and it can't happen anywhere.
In Monterey Park, California, I'm Mike Valerio.
The number of people getting respiratory viruses is trending down for the first time since September. The flu, COVID, and RSV cases have been overwhelming hospitals. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the number of ER visits for those 3 viruses combined has dropped to the lowest level in 3 months, and improvement is in all age groups. Flu hospitalizations dropped to 1/4 of what it was at a peak 1 month ago, but the flu season is notoriously unpredictable and, well, far from over. Only 4 states, California, New Mexico, North Dakota, and Texas, had high levels of flu the second week in January. They also joined by 2 of America's largest cities, New York and Washington, D.C. Well, coming up next, Buffalo Bills fans, they are disappointed after the team's loss to Cincinnati ended their Super Bowl hopes. We check in what fans have to say as they're reflecting today.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
This year's theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, focuses on the importance of knowing your way out of a home or business in the event that a fire were to break out.
The Hullo Summer Festival in downtown Jamestown, and as you mentioned, the whole goal of this is to connect Jamestown's kids with things to do over the summer.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, the Buffalo Bills could not beat the Cincinnati Bengals at home Sunday. Fans from across the region, they still rallied for their team. Erie News Now's Marissa Thomas with reaction to the loss and now the push to rally for Cincinnati's Super Bowl hopes.
Football fans were watching the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills game at Buffalo Wild Wings. At the end of the 4th quarter, with the final score, Bengals 27 to Bills 10, Buffalo fans had to admit that Cincinnati performed pretty well this AFC game.
I told me it was going to be in favor of the Bills, but those Bengals really overcame. The passing game was unbelievable. You got to give it up to the Bengals. They won this one.
Though the results were disappointing for Bills fans, they still have faith that their team will be able to play even better for the next season.
I had really high hopes going into this season. They dropped the ball today, but they're going to come back stronger than ever next year. Josh Allen's no quitter. He's going to work hard and bring it home.
Next week, the Cincinnati Bengals will be playing against Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, the Bengals won against the Chiefs for the AFC Championship game. One Bengals fan is expecting the same results.
We're gonna win. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. We don't know what the outcome is gonna be, but I do. We're gonna beat them.
We don't want the Chiefs to win.
Bengals all day.
Marissa Thomas, Erie News Now.
All right, Marissa, thank you. Certainly, we still love our Bills no matter what. That's it for us today. News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.